Hello and welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kael, and I am incredibly influential.
And my name is Danny, and I am highly successful.
I was, I was praying and hoping and dreading you weren't going to say the wrong name. Like I was like, please don't call yourself Maxwell. He's named himself Maxwell in the fucking Zencaster chat, which is, I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I'm so happy. It's
I'm glad that
Monday
y'all can
night.
be a part of our little in jokes that y'all don't usually get to see.
Yeah, I don't feel like you guys understand how annoying it is when they do it on atop the table. By the way, if y'all aren't watching atop the table, it's great. It's fun. Go watch it. But it is so annoying to do the editing for uh for atop the table because I don't know who the fuck is who. Because everyone always picks like the. A lot of them just pick the same damn name. Usually, what was it? We tried to record on Thursday, but your power went out because Greg Abbott is a moron. And uh, do you know why that happened? But I'll get into it in a minute. But I actually figured out the reason for that, which is really funny. Um, Good old Texas incompetence. But um, like
Well,
we yeah.
usually when the power goes out, it's usually just for the neighborhood, but it went out everywhere.
Yeah, well, 6 people died in that storm. So I will say, obviously, big storm, very dangerous. But
Well, my power went out before it even started raining. I think the wind hit my house too hard, and it was no power for you.
it wasn't just you; it was the grid. And again, let me
Yeah.
go into it. But um, but when we do atop the table, we did atop the table, and like we tried to do it this week. Your power went out. Matthew had some uh technical difficulties as well. We had to scrap that first recording, which sucks. But um, literally, everyone came in with. I think they all called themselves Danny, except for Matthew, and this is why I like Matthew more than the rest of you. 110%, 110%. If I'm ever in the apocalypse, and it's me versus you four, and I have to pick one of you to trust. Let's just say I'm eating Matthew last, and it's not just because he's very skinny and doesn't have a lot of meat on his bones. Um, yeah, I'm eating Matthew last because I trust him the most.
How much
But
does Matthew weigh?
I don't know. It's kind of a rude question to ask.
No, not necessarily. I feel like you're thinking it's rude, but it's not really rude. It's just I'm just curious. How much do you weigh?
I don't know. I don't own a scale.
You don't own a scale?
Nope. It fluctuates, I'm sure.
Yeah, but you gotta at least kind of have a general idea.
I mean, I don't know. Probably like 220,
220.
something like that. I don't know.
I don't know a lot about BMIs, but you're taller than me, so
I'm fat. I know.
well, that's not what I was saying, but you are taller than me, so you should weigh more than me. But I don't know if you should be weighing that much more than me. But again, I don't know the specifics of it.
I'm fat.
I nobody's saying that. You're saying that.
I am saying that because it's true, and I can live with that. I'm fat. I'm a fat fuck. Let's be real here. Um, but yeah, they kept backing out. I came in and I'm like, oh, thanks guys for picking your own names for once, and they all backed out, left, and came back and chose the same fucking names as each other. It's so annoying. It's so annoying when they do this, and it just makes my life so much harder. So much
When have
harder.
I ever done that?
Literally every time that we've ever done any recording together, you did. I'm pretty sure you've done it even when we just did the A New Hope commentary track. I'm pretty sure you didn't even come in as Danny in that one. I'm not sure. Maybe you did, but there was that one. I think you did it when we did the robots commentary track. Yeah. Speaking of which, that's a pretty good one. We've really been going hard on those movie commentaries in the past month.
Robots has always been one of my favorite movies from childhood.
You said movie. That during the commentary. Go listen to it. It's really good. Watch it with us. It's really fun.
Go watch Robots, guys.
Go watch Robots and pay $5 for the commentary.
Or just go watch Robots, because Robots is a good
movie. Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Believe it or not, guys, it is possible to watch the movie without the commentary.
Danny, shut the fuck up. $5 a month we could be making just for people to listen to just the fucking Robots thing. Come on. Well, I mean, you don't just get that. We should make a separate tier that is just the Robots commentary track. Just for that. I'll do it. I don't give a shit. I'll do it. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. But what I was saying about Greg Abbott. So, if you didn't know, which if you lived in Texas, how could you not? But if you're not from Texas, Texas has been having some power issues. And it's because their grid is separate from the national grid. So all 47 continental United States, other than Texas, are on one giant federal grid. Texas is not, because they're stupid. And so this causes a lot of problems, because when, say, Colorado, for instance, let's say Colorado gets hit with some inclement weather, and a lot of their cities go out of power. Denver has some power issues, right? Denver can get power all the way from fucking Jersey or Georgia or Florida, right? And that power, can keep them, turn the lights back on, right? So if their power stuff doesn't work, the rest of the country can power them. Texas can't do that. So Texas really needs some strong critical infrastructure in their power stuff, right? And so Governor Abbott said, hey, I guarantee that the lights are going to stay on, right? Because this was after the last big blackout, right? Every time there's fucking big blackout, he makes big promises about this. And then 70,000 people, last I heard, 70,000 people in Texas are without power right now. And
yes, some people are still without power.
And he's like, well, you can't promise the lights are, you can't promise that there's not going to be issues. But the reason why this is because there was recently a bill that was supposed to go through and make the power grid in Texas a little bit stronger, right? But because Governor Abbott, I almost said a very offensive joke right there. I'm above it. But he is very
like you.
I mean, should I say it? Danny, do you want me to say it? I'll say it.
Oh, wait. I'm curious, but I'm worried. I'm worried a little bit.
It's very offensive towards a specific group of people.
You know what? I think you should say it, because you do say some crazy stuff off the podcast.
Okay.
And as soon as you're being recorded, and now you want to start thinking about what you say.
I'm very careful about my brand image when I'm being recorded, but the reason why fucking Greg Abbott is in a wheelchair is because he kept getting dicked up the ass by natural gas and oil companies. It's not because he's actually crippled. It's because he keeps getting fucked up the ass by natural gas companies. So, in accordance with them, ramming their fist up his ass and using him like a goddamn puppet, he included a loophole in the bill that said natural gas companies, natural gas power companies, are allowed to opt out of being considered critical infrastructure, so they don't have to, like, they wouldn't be held liable if the power goes out. So all the natural gas companies fucking took that loophole, and now they don't have to identify as critical infrastructure, and the power can go out whenever in Texas because Greg Abbott is a fucking moron. Absolute moron. The people, what is wrong with the people of Texas, right? You know?
I'm pretty cool.
Like, why are you voting for this guy? Why do you do that to yourselves? Are you stupid?
Well,
Are you all like morons? Are you all like subhuman levels of intelligence? Like, Jesus Christ. I like, you know, my one of my professors used to work with like lab rats, and I guarantee, you know, like if I tested those lab rats for like intelligence, you know, I'm pretty sure they would all fuck you. Stop playing Fallout 4. I heard
What?
the VATS targeting sound effect. I'm not stupid. He's so bad at hiding things from me.
I
He's
turned
so
down the
bad at
volume. I
this.
thought you wouldn't hear it.
I've known you for 10 years. You're not smart enough to hide anything from me. But
I wasn't really
like
trying that hard, but like I'll
lab
work on
rats,
it.
like lab rats would run circles around Texans, right? In like uh any cognitive test at all, right? Like you put a rat in a maze with cheese and then um construct an additional maze like the same proportions but for a human, and put fucking Texas barbecue on like the other side of the maze to represent the cheese, right? And like I guarantee you the rat is gonna hit the cheese first, right? Like by
I
far.
don't know if that's a fair race right there.
No, it absolutely is.
I don't know. I feel like
Even
rats
if a
move
Texan could just
faster proportional to like their body size than humans can.
even if the Texan could like walk around the maze and get to the barbecue, he still wouldn't get there before the rat would.
Well, that's just because rats are fast, man.
Not mentally, but Texans are slower. God, I fucking hate the state of Texas.
I feel like I'm not a big fan of this analogy.
I think it would be very funny if the United States just said, we're going to shut down your grid. Like you can't run your own grid, but also you can't be on our grid. So goodbye. And they just shut off all of Texas's power forever. And it just became the medieval shithole that they all want it to be, clearly. You know, they elected fucking Bran the Broken to be their governor. No, that seems a little bit mean. That seems a little bit mean. That's kind of just all crippled people, and I apologize for that. Greg Abbott is still a fucking fleshlight for oil companies, but you know, I'm not gonna take it out on all crippled people, so I apologize. Fuck Greg Abbott though. I mean, you know, I think even dead, Stephen Hawking would beat Greg Abbott in a wheelchair race. What do you think?
Stephen Hawking is not with us anymore.
I said he even dead, he would win. Pay attention and quit playing Fallout.
I don't think that a dead person can. I don't think a dead person can do it.
There's more cognitive activity in Stephen Hawking's corpse than there is in Greg Abbott.
I just don't know if I completely agree with what you say sometimes.
I mean, he's the reason why your state sucks. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Have you seen what Texas is like recently? Or ever in the last, 23 years that you've been alive? It's not just Greg Abbott, but he's making it very worse very fast.
Did I mention to you that we have Jim Adler?
What about him? What does that do?
I don't know. I just like his commercials.
You're what does that doesn't mean anything.
You know who Jim Adler is? Who doesn't know who Jim Adler is?
A lot of people, I would think. I had to Google him.
Like right just now?
Yes.
You didn't know who Jim Adler is?
No.
The Texas Hammer.
That sounds like a porn star.
Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. That's like iconic. How do you not know that? That's crazy.
How do you not know what the Italian stallion is? Look that up.
I don't know. That sounds.
No, look it up.
That sounds fishy.
Look it up. Don't be a pussy.
Let me go to my incognito tab.
He's a legit guy. Everybody knows who the Italian stallion is.
You know, the more you talk, the less I believe you.
He's a real guy. He's famous. He's way more famous than Jim Adler, I'll tell you that.
But then how have I not heard of him, but I've heard of Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer?
Because you're retarded. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. You're fucking handy-capable. I don't know what to tell you.
The Italian Stallion is a movie.
Uh-huh.
With Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah. It's Sly. How do you not know the Italian fucking stallion, man? Now watch it. Watch the movie, Danny. If you guys want us to do an IIHS watch party of the Italian stallion, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments. We'll watch it, I promise. Scouts honor Sinead O'Connor.
We'll watch that.
No, we will. It's gonna be great.
I don't know if we will.
Okay, alright, counterpoint. If I got Sylvester Stallone to watch it with us, would you watch Italian Stallion with me?
You know, just to humor you, sure. If you got Sylvester Stallone,
if I got Sylvester Stallone to watch his softcore porn movie with us, would you watch the movie?
Like I said, I'll humor you and I'll say yeah, but I just really have a feeling that you don't have that type of pull.
But if I did, you have to actually go through with it.
I suppose.
You can't just say now, like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. But when it comes time to watch Mr. Stallone stroke his fucking wiener, you know, you gotta actually, you know, nut up or shut up. You know what I mean?
I guess, but like, you know, like that's this is a very big if. I feel like you're trying to catch me, you know, on this if, but it's a big if, man. You know,
I don't. That kind of attitude that would have, you know, if we had that attitude in 1969, we never would have landed on the moon. You know, or 67. I don't remember. I wasn't there for it. Nobody gives a shit. I don't know. Fuck. The moon is fucking dumb. Fuck the moon.
Are you sure that the moon is real?
Jesse, what the fuck are you talking about?
Have you ever seen the moon?
Yes.
Likely story.
Not only have I seen the moon, I can prove that it is real because the fucking we can prove it mathematically.
I don't know.
No, like it would be super easy too. Like it's not difficult to prove it. We have tides.
How do we know that like we're just not under like a giant sheet that somebody holds holes in it too? You know what I mean? That's the real question.
How would the holes move?
It's all an illusion, I think.
Stop playing Fallout 4. We can all hear your controller. Engage in actual conversation, you fucking loser.
But you're talking about nonsense like the moon.
What are you talking? What? I hate you. I hope bad things happen to you. I wish misfortune on you. Which, you know,
How
not
can you
like
even hear
much
my
more,
controller?
not like much more misfortune could happen to you, you know, because you already live in Texas. But
Well,
you
I thought you
know,
were gonna talk about something different.
I thought the better of it. I set it up. But I didn't. You know, I set up the pins. But instead of rolling a strike, I pulled out an AR-15 and I shot them all. That was good. Come on, give me credit for that. Give me credit for that. That's good.
You're so stupid.
That was such a good one though. Come on, give me credit for that. That was fucking hilarious. That was fucking hilarious. Can I please have credit for that?
I don't know if I want to give you credit for anything anymore.
I mean that's true. You give me an inch and I take uh I take a lot of inches, you know what I mean?
Are you getting pegged? Is that what you're trying to imply?
Anal sex.
Okay, so that was what you're trying to imply.
Anal penetration, yeah. 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 I'm glad you caught on. I love how you knew exactly what I was talking about. Danny, is there something you need to talk about? Something you need to talk about with us?
No.
Are you
Why would I have to
sure?
talk to you about anything?
Are you sure about that? I don't know. It seems kind of sketchy.
I'm pretty sure.
It seems a little fishy that you are, that you're not. You don't want to talk about this with me. Come on, enlighten me. Tell me a little bit. Tell me more. Tell me more.
I don't know what you're implying.
I would like to. I don't know what you're implying.
I don't.
I'm gonna
I don't know.
overwhelm his brain like this. He's gonna.
I don't know
I'm
what you
unleashing a
want.
cognitive attack on him. I'm going to mentally overwhelm him until he can no longer mount an effective defense, and then I'll go in for the kill. We can all still hear your controller, dumbass. Pause the fucking game. It's gotten louder.
I shouldn't touch the D-pad. That's the problem. As soon as I touch the D-pad, then it all just goes. I'll just use the analog stick from now on.
You should touch D's nuts. How about that? I can hear the fucking sticks as well. We can all hear you. Stop.
I can grab another controller, see if it's quieter.
Or you can pause the fucking game and offer meaningful commentary.
Yeah, but you just keep talking about things that I don't have an opinion on. I'm waiting for the point.
Then bring up a fucking point of conversation, dumbass. That's how conversations work. When you don't like the subject, you change it.
No, but I realize that like being here on the podcast, like the best thing to do is just to let you wear yourself out usually. So that's kind of what I was waiting for.
Daniel, what you don't understand is not only did I drink an entire brand that we will no longer mention by name packet of caffeine stuff. I also took like a 3-hour nap. So I am wound for sound. I am raring to go. I am so amped right now that I will not wear myself out. That's the thing.
Okay. Well, let me see what I can talk about then, I suppose, right? Things that are going on in my life. I've been reading a lot of books, still.
Yep.
I just finished a couple books, actually.
Did you go to the library like I told you to?
The library?
Yes.
For why did you say to go to the library again?
I told you to rent that one book.
No, I haven't. I'm probably gonna go to Barnes and Noble sometime this week though, because I'm running out of books. And I need to stock up. The thing is, I usually buy books from little tables that say 50% off.
I don't know if that one's gonna be on sale. So I've talked about this on the show before. I recommended to him a series called The King Killer Chronicles. It's in progress still. The author is still working on the third book. Fucking, I feel like the people who like A Song of Ice and Fire, because like still waiting on that last book. That Game of Thrones fucking season 8 has been out for like 3 years now, and they're still waiting on the fucking last book. I don't know what the fuck George R.R. Martin fucking does all day, but something tells me it's fucking cranking his hog and shoving his fucking face full of fucking cum. I don't know.
Wasn't he working on Elden Ring?
Not really. Not fucking really. Barely. If it had fucking George R. R. Martin, it would have had good dialogue. You know?
Did you play Elden Ring?
No. Because I already knew that it would have shit dialogue and no characters.
Is that why you play Elden Ring?
Is that why I play what?
Is that why you play Elden Ring?
No, I didn't play Elden Ring.
But I'm saying, like, if you did play Elden Ring, would that be the reason why?
If it had good characters and a good story and good dialogue, maybe.
Well, like, you played Plants vs. Zombies with me a long time ago. I wouldn't say that had a great story.
Which,
you know?
Wait, what zombies thing?
The Plants vs. Zombies, the shooter one. I wouldn't say that one had a great story. You know what I mean? That was.
The original one does. And it has a great atmosphere. Plants vs. Zombies has a great atmosphere. And good art design. Holy shit. Have you seen the fucking art design in Plants vs. Zombies? It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. You know, like, Elden Ring also has a pretty good atmosphere and some cool art design.
I think Elden Ring is over-designed. I've never liked, like, almost any of the designs in Dark Souls. In any of the Souls-likes. FromSoft, I don't like their fucking monster design. For the most part, you know, there's exceptions to that, of course. Obviously, I don't think there's any game or show or movie or anything that's like predominantly animated where everything looks ugly, other than Food Fight, probably. Food Fight's pretty damn bad.
Which one is Food Fight?
Oh, you haven't seen Food Fight yet. Oh, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch that. That's gonna be our next fucking commentary.
I might have seen Food Fight, but it doesn't ring a bell right away.
You would remember. It would have inflicted a lasting trauma upon you. Trust me. It is the ugliest thing ever.
Like, whenever it comes to like Elden Ring, though, I don't know. I feel like it's not that bad. You know what I mean?
I don't like the design, and I don't think if I'm gonna play a single player game, it should have good story and like good characters and shit, right? Like for example, on stream just recently, I've started playing some games from my childhood. You know, I usually play like single player games. I upload almost every day. There's some exceptions, but on the most part, every single day, I upload about like 30 minutes of content from like single player games. Right, right now it is between Batman: Arkham Knight and Middle Earth: Shadow of War. Single player games, but it's great story, good characters. I would say the characters in the Arkham series are a lot better, but that's because it's fucking Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. You know, they're like they made Batman the animated series, they made Mask of the Phantasm, etc., etc. You know, so they can do no wrong in my eyes. But you know, Middle Earth: Shadow of War still has good characters. And you know, like even if they're not like super developed fucking characters, just the orc captains and shit are just super funny. You know, there's just like so many of them, and a lot of them are really funny. Does comedy very well, that game, and it's very rare that you get a comedy game done right. But you know, it's like, you know, I play games for the story, for the characters. I would say the Arkham. Oh well, think about it like this, Danny. I've told you what my like 3 favorite games of all time are, right?
Have you?
Let's see if you can guess. Actually, this is like a mini Newlywed game.
No, let's not, because I'm
No, let's
gonna
see if you can
guess
guess.
wrong.
Let's see if you can guess.
I'm gonna guess wrong.
Okay, I still think that's illuminating, even if you're
Is
wrong. It's interesting to hear what you think, even if like it's technically wrong. I'd like to hear if maybe I gave like the wrong impression. So go ahead, guess. There's no, you know, because I literally can't even decide a favorite game. There's probably no wrong answers anyway. To be honest, I can still hear your fucking controller.
You like that Batman one? One of the Batman ones. I don't know which one Batman one, but it's one of the Batman ones. You like that one, right?
That's true, but which one?
You just gotta.
It's the good one. It's the good one. I'm glad you at least remembered that.
It's a Batman game. I don't. That's all I can tell you. Which Batman game? I do not know.
It's the middle one in the trilogy.
You really like you like Star Wars. You like Star Wars game, Batman game, and Star Wars game, Batman game. Can I say second Star Wars game? 2 Star Wars games and a Batman game.
Surprisingly, I wouldn't say there is a Star Wars game that I would consider favorite game material.
You telling me you don't like the Skywalker saga or whatever it's called?
No, not really.
Or the Knights of the Old Republic?
They have their problems. Skywalker saga, bit basic. It's a bit basic, but it's like super large, and I don't really care for that. It's just like it's way too much, right? Complete saga, you could 100% that in 2 or 3 days if you really put your fucking mind to it, and you like, put your nose to the grindstone, and you were just there for like 18 hours, 18 to 30 hours. If you knew it well enough, you could 100% it very quickly. But Skywalker Saga will take you fucking days, and it's a slog. It's a slog. Like, I did all of the events, like all of the hub world shit, every single hub world. I 100%ed all of it, and I'm still only like 80% of the way done because like there's all the like challenges and the levels and mini kits and shit, and it's a little exhausting. And as far as Knights of the Old Republic, it's good, but strangely, I'm gonna tell you something. There's a lot of math puzzles in it. Like math and logic puzzles. I think have you ever seen that like game with the 3 poles and the rings on it, and you have to like get all the rings off of one and onto the other?
I think so.
There's a puzzle sort of like that, and it just feels kind of out of place in the setting. Characters are good in it, but like I don't know. And it's like D&D. It's cool. Good characters, good story, good atmosphere and shit like that. It's just, the math puzzles and combat's a little clunky, but that's because it's literally D&D in a video game form. But, it's just not favorite game material. I would respect the hell out of you if you did put it on your favorite games list. Like, that's more power to you. Glad you enjoy it. It's still like an 8.5, 9 out of 10 for me. It's just little issues. Yeah. But no, if you actually, do I want to be a bitch about this? I could be a bitch about this and say, we need to go to the ad break, and I'll put it after the ad break. That would be really funny. That would be really funny, actually. Oh my god, I'm gonna do it. Come back after the ad break, and I'll tell you my real favorite games. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine. your no-nonsense talk therapist and parent coach. Serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no-nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AMANDAREDWINE.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about the cliffhanger. I'm not sorry at all. But without any further ado, my favorite games are, in no particular order because I haven't played them recently, Batman Arkham City. That was the one, Danny. Number 2, yes, it's the middle one, in between Asylum and Night. Night is the one I just finished. It finished on stream, finishing on YouTube. You'll see. Go subscribe to KThugston TV on YouTube and you'll see what happens. Yeah. Arkham Knight, not my favorite. Arkham Asylum, not my favorite. Arkham City, perfect. BioShock Infinite, and I think Fallout New Vegas. I think it's Fallout New Vegas. I'm not sure. But that's my iffy one, and it is my understanding that you have an iffy one as well.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to guess yours, and I'm going to get 2 out of 3 correct.
You're maybe.
In my third one, you're going to be like, okay, that's actually a good choice. Because your iffy one, I think I'm going to come up with something that you like more. So,
maybe.
Obviously, number 1, Overwatch. I won't say Overwatch 1 or 2 because they're basically merged. You know?
They're like the same game.
Yeah, Overwatch 1 just became Overwatch 2 and became worse. So, yes. Overwatch, obviously that is your favorite.
Yeah, number 1, of course.
That's numero uno. I will say number 2 is Destiny 2. No? I think it's 1. I think you liked 1 more than you liked 2. I want to get credit for at least one of those, okay?
Okay, you going to say something, or are you just gonna keep guessing?
No, I just want to say, like, if either one of those appeared on the list, I want credit for guessing that it was a Destiny game.
Like, Destiny is not a bad choice. I put a lot of time into Destiny back in the day.
Yes.
Kept
trying to get me to do it too.
But like, I think that my other 2 games are probably going to be single player games, just because, you know, my number 1 game is like a PvP game.
That's fair.
So as much as I love Destiny, I would say it's somewhere up there, but there's so many other good ones. Like, it's just among the giant pile of good games that I've played.
That's true.
It's hard to pick whenever like a lot of the games are just so good, you know?
Yeah. Okay. But do I at least get like partial credit for that?
I guess, but like,
because I know how much you liked it.
It's a good game, yeah. But there's like, you could say that like about like so many games. I like
Borderlands
so many games.
2.
That's another really good one. Yeah, I think that was my favorite game for a long time. But
is it not on the list anymore?
Like, it's not really on the list anymore, just because.
Because I ruined it for you.
No, not because of that. It's just because like I feel like it had its moment, you know? It had its moment, and now that's like the problem with single player games, for me at least, is that because uh once you beat them and you kind of like play them all through, you kind of just move on to the next thing, right?
That's true.
So I feel like if it was like I guess a thing where it's like what's my favorite game if I could like erase my memory, it might be a different list, right?
Yeah.
But Uh, I would say that Borderlands 2, again, just another great game and a giant pile of really good games, but I wouldn't say it's like my favorite.
Okay. Can I get partial credit for that one too?
Sure, that's another good one, yeah.
Okay. Those were my guesses, and I think in 2018 I probably would have been correct on all three of those. I think you would have considered. I think you probably would have said, "Yeah,
Yeah, in
that's good for all
2018,
three."
yeah, you probably would have.
Minecraft. I mean, I guess that's not fully single player, so I guess that doesn't fit the criteria of what you would consider your favorites. But I know you like that one.
Minecraft's a very fun game. I
Mm-hmm.
played it a lot whenever I was younger. Uh, but as like time went on, I kind of like dropped Minecraft. The only time that I got really, really into Minecraft in recent history was whenever we did that server, and you weren't even there for like half the time that I was just grinding. You came back and I had like full armor, and you were just still building like a tiny house.
I wasn't a tiny house. I was farming.
Whatever it was, the point is that's like the only time in recent history I've gotten into Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Minecraft's a good game. Just I don't have the time into it to really say it's like one of my favorite games.
As soon as I said Minecraft, my brain went, "No, fuck! You should have said Terraria, because
Terra-
Terraria."
Terraria, I love Terraria. Terraria is such a good game.
Can I get full credit for Terraria?
I will say the only bad thing about Terraria is that as they added more and more stuff into Terraria, they made the console experience worse and worse. So pretty much I had to play Terraria exclusively on PC, um, because they added like a billion extra buttons,
Yeah,
and Xbox did not add a billion extra buttons on their controllers.
that's fair. See,
So,
with
because
yeah,
like if you like if I played Terraria back in the day, like 1.1, 1.2, maybe even 1.3, 1.3 is kind of pushing it a little bit. Like the console experience wasn't that bad, but then as soon as 1.4 dropped, they changed all the buttons, and it just is a nightmare to do anything on the controller.
that's fair. What I'll say is, uh, I kind of the same thing with Minecraft. I would have considered it my favorite game. It would be in the running, but they've added so much bullshit to it. And
Well,
there's like
the thing
some good
is,
shit, but like a bunch of other bad shit. You know what I mean?
I do, I, I see what you're saying because like they'll have like snapshots. Will add like one mob, or they'll add like one item,
Yes.
and it feels a little silly sometimes, right? And then they'll have updates like the cave update, which was a really substantial, big update. That kind
Yes.
of, you know what I mean? Like, so it feels like their whole like strategy. They're just adding like really tiny things. Never really made sense to me for a game like Minecraft, right?
I just don't like that they've overcomplicated it. I think there is a perfect game in if you take certain parts of everything. I think you ixnay on the cave update. Um, you take like the dual wielding thing,
Wait,
right? Like being able
Ixnay,
to put things in her offhand.
which one is
What?
Ixnay again? Is Ixnay good or bad?
Nix. Like get rid of it.
You don't like the cave update?
Overcomplicated. Um,
I don't know. I do like the variety it adds though, because typical cave systems were kind of like very predictable, I suppose, right? There wasn't a lot
yeah.
of like different like layouts for it, but with the cave update, there's a lot more variety, right?
I don't know. It's overcomplicated. There's a lot of things, Netherite overcomplicated. The new Ender shit, the Shulker shit. It's so much. It's so much. But like the offhand thing, right? That's a good choice. That's a good addition, right? Um, the horses, I love horses. I like those. That was probably around where it started to just be too much for
I
me.
think that for me, the my problem with Minecraft has always kind of been that there is no it's a sandbox game, right? And I like
Yeah,
that. But I feel like there should be more of like a goal system, objectives, maybe like things like that, right?
you want more
For the
direction?
for the people that want it, right? I'm saying we can keep the sandbox style and all that, but I feel like just add in those things, right? Because you look at like Terraria. Terraria is like can be a sandbox game if you want it to be, but Terraria has that like direction for people that also want that, right?
So you want
Like
it to be more like Subnautica, kind of.
kind of exactly. Well, Subnautica's a decent, yeah. Subnautica's a decent example, right? Where it's like you could do sandbox stuff, or you can have an objective and a goal, or like Terraria, exactly. Like Terraria and Subnautica, I think are real good examples of how you can do both, right? But Minecraft is really stuck to the whole we're gonna let you figure it out, and I don't. That's never been my cup of tea.
That's fair. I think we're probably asking Minecraft to change in a way that it probably shouldn't
Well,
because that would compromise the vision.
I'm not saying that it
Yeah,
should change, but I would say that like people have made mods for that sort of thing. People have added that in themselves, right?
that's true.
I just think that the vanilla experience isn't my cup of tea. It's not bad. It's just not for me.
Okay.
But do you want to keep guessing my top three?
Uh, shit. Well, these are very new. I don't know. Gungeon. I don't think Gungeon's gonna be still be on there, but I know that was one of your favorites.
Gungeon was such a good game. Such a good game. And the only problem that I had with Gungeon is that I wanted more,
Yeah.
you know? And whenever they did finally come out with the sequel, it was an iOS exclusive.
Oh no!
uh,
Oh man!
don't worry though. Years later, it finally came on to other consoles, but
Does it
it
suck?
was it's not the same genre of game anymore, and that's kind of like not my favorite.
Yeah. Have you tried Nuclear Throne? That's sort of similar.
I have tried Nuclear Throne. My problem with Nuclear Throne though is that the difficulty curve is kind of everywhere with it, you know?
That's fair.
You
That's
could have
true.
30 health, and if an enemy accidentally shoots a car, then you'll be dead.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh no, you spent an hour, picking all the right choices, and then you accidentally stood too close to a car. Boo hoo you.
Yep.
That's kind of why I don't like Nuclear Throne. With a lot of the games that I play, like Enter the Gungeon, or The Binding of Isaac, or I'm trying to think of more roguelikes off the top of my head. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like Hades.
Yeah.
Like just any sort of roguelike. I feel like part of what I want is for my death to feel as though it was preventable. And with
Yes.
Nuclear Throne, it just frustrates me because it's like, how was I supposed to know that? You know?
That's. I will say. Um. What. One of the big things that I've noticed in certain games is like uh the time to get back to where you were is like if you're in a hard section, right? If you have to get up to a hard section and you need to like redo it multiple times, right? If there's like a long lead up, if the checkpoint is before the cutscene, for example, right? Fucking it sucks, right? So if you're losing a lot of progress every time, you want it to be fair, right? You want that death to be absolutely 110%. I fucked up and it's my bad. Fair, right? It's like in a roguelike, like a hardcore roguelike, you want like all that shit to be like I fucked up, my bad, right? Instead of the game fucked up. Like they're like you don't want to be fighting against the game in a game where you lose a lot of your progress. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like my favorite games have always been games that are skill based
Yes.
for that reason because I feel like if the game has too much luck elements to it, it doesn't really feel like I'm playing the game. It feels like I'm like watching a cutscene and I'm hoping that I get the good choice, right? Even if it's like I guess like 50-50 skill and luck, right?
Hmm.
It's still like, if I get bad luck, it doesn't matter how good I am at the game. My friend, if they get extra lucky, they don't have to really try that hard. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, and it's like you'd
And it's,
rather.
you know,
Hmm.
and so and the thing is, I've noticed that the better you are at games, the better I am at games, the more I enjoy skill. But the worse somebody is at games, the more they enjoy luck,
Yeah.
because it's for the opposite reason, right? Because they're not good enough for the skill games, so they want a
Hmm.
chance to win. And I get that. So you should have both options for everybody, I guess, right? But I play games a decent amount. I'm pretty good at them. So whenever a game is just like very luck dependent, it's not it for me. Not it for me.
Hmm.
Even games like Dark Souls and all that, those games like they people say that like they're unfair, right? But even those games, like if you really are like paying attention to everything, like most of the time it's your fault. Even if it feels unfair, it's most of the time it's your fault, and it feels like your fault. It doesn't feel like the game's BSing you. It feels like you just haven't figured
Yeah.
it out yet. You
Well,
know?
that's the thing with like hard games and games that will like take away your progress really quickly, or like games that either make you die a lot or make you lose a lot of progress when you die. They have to make it feel like it's like that it's fair and that you fucked up, rather than uh rather than you are like you want to be fighting within the game, not against the game, right? You want the game to be a medium through which you prove your skill, not the primary antagonist that is trying to hamper you. You know what I mean? Because that just makes it miserable for everyone. And I feel like there are certain games where maybe there's like just like certain mechanics, or like there's like input lag or like certain things like that, and it just takes you out of the fucking experience. And I think that is a problem in with certain games, but I feel like, you know, yeah, I feel like that is a problem with Nuclear Throne. But let's get back to guessing your favorite games.
You have any more guesses or?
I feel like they're going to be very obscure at this point.
Well, I will tell you something. This may be a hint, right?
Yeah.
So, one of my top three games, you can list about 15 games and I would count it.
I mean,
If you can guess one of the 15 games, I'll count it.
I mean, I feel like you've kind of talked about Elden Ring a lot this episode, but I feel like that would have been the hint that you would have given me.
No, no. The hint was that you could name one of 15 games and I will count it as one of my favorite games
Are
if
they
you
all
can.
in the same series?
Yes, that's the hint.
Oh, okay. Oh shit, this is hard. 15 games.
I don't know. That's kind of more of in a estimate sort of number,
Okay.
but uh because you know how it always is, right? Like there's probably less than that if I include only the important games, and there's probably more than that if I include all of the BS extra games, you know?
Ooh, that's true. You're right. I don't know. Maybe it's like, well, Call of Duty has legitimately had 20 entries, 20 mainline entries in the Call of Duty
I feel
franchise.
like you're gonna know what it is if you just think about it.
I'm thinking Pokemon has probably had about 15 games, or 15 like simultaneous releases of games. You know, they make like if you count Diamond and Pearl as the same game, you know. Fuck. I feel like I'm overthinking this. I'm really focused on how big the franchise is. That's my main focus right now. So I feel like I'm overthinking the shit out of this right now.
I think you know what it is and you just forgot.
If you say it, I'm going to feel like a fucking moron, I'm sure.
Well, then you have any
Is
guesses before?
is 15 an accurate measurement, or is it like
I set
give
my
me
phone somewhere. We can count the entries.
yeah, give me like an actual estimate here cuz then if you give me the actual number, I'm sure I can probably guess it from there. What generation did it start on?
Let me just count the games real quick while you think about this.
Well, you got to tell me what generation it started on, so that way I can. Oh, it's
Um,
Assassin's Creed, Sasso Credo.
yeah, of course. Yeah, I was like, how are you not getting this? It's like,
I was like, what console generation did it start on? And I was like, yearly releases, Call of Duty. Oh, what else gets a yearly release? Sasso Credo. Yes. Okay.
it's not
Uh,
quite yearly, but it did feel yearly for a while.
yeah, and that's when it sucked, and now it sucks even worse now. That's great. That's the best part. Is they could have been releasing games that sucked yearly, and now they're putting in more effort to get less quality. It's great. It's hilarious. Good job, Ubisoft, you French fucks. You
Well,
stupid fucking frog eating bastards.
they're actually working on multiple games at the same time now, so that's
Even
interesting.
worse. I'm so mad at how bad the fucking Star Wars Outlaws is gonna be. It's gonna be fucking terrible.
Yeah, but
And I'm
I feel like
furious.
15 feels like an accurate number.
1, 2 Brotherhood Revelations 3.
Two,
Are we counting only
one,
the 3D
two,
ones?
Brotherhood, Revelations. Okay, so let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Black
7,
Flag,
8, 9,
Rogue and
10,
Unity,
11, 12, 13. 13 main series games, and then they have
I don't count the
uh
DLCs.
you don't want to count the DLCs because
Tyranny of King Washington doesn't count. The Black Flag one doesn't count.
so 13 main series games. They got
2 Chronicles.
Liberation. Liberation's kind of its own game,
Lib doesn't count. Lib doesn't count. Same with Tyranny of King Washington doesn't count.
but it kind of is like a
Doesn't count.
whole extra game though.
Doesn't count.
Like with Freedom Cry and with Tyranny of King Washington, those are kind of those are DLCs. But Liberation feels like it's like a whole game. But I guess you're fine. Okay, so
Did they
13 mainline
an
entries.
entirely new map for it? Because
We got
that's what
Chronicles.
I there's like 2 Chronicles, but they didn't
There's
come up
3
with a whole new
Chronicles.
map. Or sorry, 3. But like they didn't come up with a whole new map for Liberation. Liberation is like
Uh,
map,
yeah,
so
because like what's it called? Assassin's Creed 3 takes place in like the colonies, right?
yeah.
But Assassin's Creed Liberation takes place in Louisiana. So
I don't know.
the
It
so
feel
the game the setting's different. It's like the
is
Louisiana forest and like the Louisiana city.
okay. Is Blood Dragon a different game than Far Cry 3?
You're asking me about a subject matter I don't know.
It's a DLC. Even though it is totally different map, totally different weapons, totally different everything. It's a DLC. So I would consider Liberation not a mainline game. So
Okay, I would say 13 mainline games then. So
yes.
15 was, somewhat accurate. Mirage, to be honest with you, shouldn't even count because Mirage was originally supposed to be a DLC that they turned into a full length game,
Feels like that too, from what I've
and it
heard.
and it's very short, very short.
I've heard it's the worst one in the series.
It was it it doesn't really feel like it's long enough to like I guess merit being its own game, right? But at the same time, it feels longer than a DLC would be, so it's in a weird spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if this game came out like around the time that the first Assassin's Creed game came out, the length wouldn't have been that bad. But because it came out so recently, it's a little iffy, you know? Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, Assassin's Creed is I would say my favorite Assassin's Creed personally are the Ezio games. I would say the Ezio trilogy. I don't know if you're going to count that as a game. If you want me to choose one of the 3 Ezio games, I would say two.
No. That's like me saying the Batman Return to Arkham games are my favorite. No, doesn't count.
But there's the Ezio Chronicles, I think, right?
No, doesn't count. You have
The
to
Ezio
pick
collection.
brother. You have to pick two, Brotherhood or Revelations, and I think you're gonna
Well,
pick two.
two, of course, it's two.
Yes.
I remember whenever I had the disc for that game and had a scratch on it, so I would take it out and put it into my Xbox like 40 times before it would work.
I've had games like
Those
that.
were the days, you
Worth it.
know?
Worth it. But all right, now your last favorite game.
Now, my last favorite game is a
Is
game
this
that
the
came out
iffy one?
like it's iffy, but I would say that for like a single player game, it was it's my favorite single player game that I've played in recent memory, and I feel like it has like everything that I want. You know, it has gameplay, it has stories, it has like
Hades.
characters, it has like humor, it has all that, right?
Hades.
Hades is a good one, right? It's not it though.
Fuck. What is it
Hades,
then? Shit.
it's Hi-Fi Rush.
Oh. Oh.
I
Yeah. I heard.
love
I heard
Hi-Fi
that.
Rush. It's so good. I love
I've
it
heard
so
about
much.
it. I. I don't know. I don't know.
I played that game and I put so many hours into it. I played the story mode 7 times on all the difficulties. You know, I got like all the outfits. I did everything. The gameplay is so fun, right? So like the first time you played through it, right? You're focusing on the story. The story is really good. The characters are really interesting.
Is
It
High
had
Five Rush? Isn't it one of those rhythm shooters?
it's a rhythm beat 'em up,
Okay.
right? Uh, but like I said, the first time you play through it and you're focusing on the story is good, the characters are good, like there's like funny moments, right? You know, if you're like me and you actually want to keep playing it, you know, the gameplay just keeps giving, you know, and the higher the difficulty is, the more satisfying it feels, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, there's a reason why those fucking Guitar Hero games got so damn popular, and you're combining it with like conventional gameplay. You know, BPM bullets per minute was big like that. There was um another one of those rhythm bullet gun shooter BPM things. Uh, and like that was I'm surprised it took that long for it to get popular like that. But
Yeah, but like
yeah,
there's a lot of games that hit the marks in a lot of different ways for me,
yeah,
but the way the Hi-Fi Rush kind of hit every mark, like all at once, it was very impressive. Plus, like it's so stylized and it looks so nice as well. It really stands out like on its own among a lot of the other single player games that I can think of in recent history that I've played and I've beaten.
mhm,
So I would say for right now it holds like that third spot for me, right?
mhm,
And I feel like that kind of makes sense, right? Overwatch, a game that I've been playing pretty much on and off since 2016.
yeah.
Assassin's Creed, a series that I've been religiously following
You even
since
read the books?
I
Disgusting.
I've read one of the books. I need to read more of them. I have them all on my shelf, but I haven't read them all yet.
Disgusting.
Uh,
Gross.
I watched the films, not all the films. I watched the Ezio films because, of course, I love
Ew.
the
I
Ezio
didn't even know
films.
they made films. Gross.
Well, there's two films for the Ezio trilogy. It's Lineage,
Don't care.
which is
Don't care. Don't care. Don't
which
care.
is
Well,
before the
keep it
second
moving.
game,
Keep it moving.
and then Embers, which takes place after Revelations.
How can it be before the second game? Because fucking Ezio was
Well,
born in the
it's
second game.
about Ezio's dad, and it talks about like the main antagonist of the second game.
The Pope?
Yeah, you know, so it talks about Ezio's dad and the Pope, and then it's kind of a lead up into the second game, right?
Okay.
And then Embers comes place after Revelations, and it's talking about Ezio's retirement and how he trains the assassin that you play in Assassin's Creed Chronicles China, and how he
Okay.
passed the artifact to her.
Okay.
You understand? It's a good story. Um,
I don't, and I'm glad I don't. I'm so glad that I don't. That I haven't let Ubisoft grab me by the fucking cojones and just squeeze the fucking cum right out of them. Just you know what I mean? Just
Right,
just squeezing those balls.
and like I said, I've played hundreds of single player games, but out of all the single player games that I've played, uh, at least in recent history, Hi-Fi Rush stands on top, and that came out like January 2023,
Yep.
and like I'm still waiting for something else to like impress me as much as that did.
Yep. That's the consensus that I've heard. So
I
I don't know. I
I bought the
isn't it on
mouse
Game
pad,
Pass
I
too?
bought the shirt. It's my screensaver on Xbox.
Mine is still. You want to hear something embarrassing? Mine is still the Darth Vader from the 2015 Battlefront. It's just him because I thought it was a good character model. Because the fucking Battlefront 2015 is still one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. I think for some reason I think Battlefront 2015 looks better than Battlefront 2017. I don't know why. I do not know why. But
Yeah.
it's gorgeous. It is easily one of the most gorgeous games I've ever seen. Like gameplay, yeah, it was fine. It was good in places, bad in others. But visually, just completely striking in all the best ways, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm so glad that Sasso Credo doesn't have me. The one time that I'm giving Ubisoft my money is I'm buying the normal version of Star Wars Outlaws because I'm not letting them fucking yeah.
Well, I definitely don't recommend buying Ultimate Editions for games.
No.
Uh, you know, I feel like from now on I probably won't. The last time that I did buy an Ultimate Edition for a game, I felt very betrayed.
Which game was this? Give us
Uh,
context first.
it was Wonderlands.
Yup. Yup, makes sense. Yup,
And
asked and
the
answered.
sad thing is, right, is that Borderlands had done such a good job of delivering valuable content
Ah,
before,
I don't know
right?
about that. I don't know about that. I think they kind of
Right?
stopped at
Borderlands 1, had lots of good story DLC. Borderlands 2 had lots of good story DLC.
Borderlands
Bo-
1 did not have lots of good story DLC. It had one good loot farm and one good story DLC. And that
Okay,
was it.
the point is like the type of content that you got, I felt like you got value out of your purchase, right?
Yeah.
I got a whole new campaign DLC. I got four new campaign DLCs for the Ultimate Edition of 1, four new campaign DLCs for the uh, Ultimate Edition of 2, four new
Mm-hmm.
campaign DLCs for the Ultimate Edition of 3, right?
Yep.
And I thought, okay, even the pre-sequel, I don't think the pre-sequel had a season pass.
Yeah.
Maybe it did. I don't remember. But even the DLC for the pre-sequel was really good, right?
Yeah, better than the actual game. Yep.
Right? So you have all those games that have like story DLC, some of them good, some of them, right? But the point
Yeah.
is like they're all campaign DLCs, right?
Yep.
So here I go thinking Wonderlands, what's gonna be, why would they make it any different, right?
I think
And it all went terribly south.
didn't
Whoever was in charge of Wonderlands, took something that had so much potential to be great, and they dropped the ball. They dropped it so incredibly hard,
they dropped the ball into a fucking active volcano for real.
right? Because the story of Wonderlands was decent. It wasn't great, but it was decent, right? But
Yeah.
then after the story, you realize that there's not much else,
Oh no, there was no post game in that game, dude. There was zero post game.
right? And that's kind of where it's like, that's so disappointing, there wasn't like raid bosses. And then whenever the DLC did finally come out, we thought we were gonna get something. It was just a copy paste of what was already in the vanilla game, but with like a slightly different scenery and a couple new enemies. And they added a couple guns, but to be honest, none of the guns in Wonderlands are that special, to be honest.
Yeah. Let's talk about. You know what? We're gonna talk about something
So
here.
I don't recommend Ultimate Editions of games anymore. That's the point that I've gotten to.
Yeah. Here's the point, right? That I'm gonna talk about here. Um, I'm pretty sure in the fucking Star Wars Outlaws Ultimate Edition, at least up until recently, I'm pretty sure they blocked out one of the missions that you were gonna be able to. They put it behind a fucking paywall. There's like a Jabba the Hutt mission that used to be, it was going to be fucking locked behind a paywall, and I think they've decided, hey, that was a fucking terrible idea, right? But a little while ago, oh yeah, no, sorry, it's in the fucking season pass. Yeah. Oh my god, that sucks so hard.
As much as I love Assassin's Creed, I do have to admit Ubisoft is not a great company.
No, they
and that's
all
and
are
that
going to hell.
has bled into Assassin's Creed in some of the more recent entries. Thankfully, you know, uh if we look past like the excessive microtransactions, the Assassin's Creed games aren't terrible, minus the most recent one being a little you know.
No, they're bad. They're that bad.
The most recent one is the only one that I would say is you know what I mean? I feel like Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla all were three good games that I really enjoyed.
If they somehow manage to make Star Wars Outlaws good, it will be the biggest surprise of all time. And they won't. They will not.
Is Outlaws a multiplayer game?
No, it's gonna be single player.
Because whenever it comes to multiplayer games, usually it's a lot harder to make those good.
Ubisoft can't make any games good, Daniel. You don't understand. Frontiers of Pandora sucks dick. I would say Skull and Bones sucks dick. I was gonna say their multiplayer games are better. Their only good one is fucking Siege. Their only good one is fucking Siege. You know? Yeah, Frontiers of Pandora sucks. From what I hear, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, not very good either.
The Prince of Persia game I heard was actually really good.
The old ones I've heard were good. I don't know if. Oh wait,
I've heard
the
the
Lost
new
Crown.
one.
Isn't this a? This might be a remake.
I've heard the new one that's like a Metroidvania is like actually really good, like really good. But I've not played it, so I can't vouch for it.
What else did they fuck up recently? Far Cry 6. That one was bad. What else? I don't know. They always fuck everything. They are fucking Johnny Sins of the video game industry because they just fuck everything. 110%. Oh, Watch Dogs Legion. That one was bad. Yeah. No, it's awful. They're awful. Division 1 and 2, Ghost Recon, all of the Ghost Recons. Jesus Christ. They haven't made a good game in years.
The Prince of Persia game, I've heard a lot of good reviews on that. But besides that, I don't know about the rest.
Rayman Legends and Rayman Origins are both very good. I know that. That's all I know. But yeah, other than that, I cannot speak to anything other than that their games all suck. And I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed Shadows is gonna suck. Like, people are shitting on it because, you know, there's a black guy in it, and like they're taking liberties with the real historical guy, which, you know, I've seen good points on both sides on that.
Have they had a trailer for that one yet?
Yeah, they have. I'm pretty sure. But you're playing as fucking Yasuke, who's the first foreigner samurai. But, you know, there's
that was their Code Red. I guess they finally have a name for it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've heard compelling arguments from both sides on that because, you know, at the same time, the Pope didn't die in a fist fight with Ezio Auditore because he was using the fucking power of the precursor human Roman god race
Well,
You
he
know,
actually didn't kill the Pope in that game. He
or
spared his life.
okay, Cesare or Rodrigo Borgia didn't use the powers of the fucking Roman gods to take over fucking Rome. Okay, so it's like,
No, no, he used his elite order of Templars. He only got the artifact like for a very brief amount of time at the end of the game.
still, again, you know, like this
Also, the
didn't
game takes
happen.
place over the course of like 20 years, so a lot happened during that time, you know?
Yes, but I'm saying like they take a lot of historical liberties already. So like, if they want to say that Yasuke was actually some super cool guy and not, apparently what I've heard about him is not very, like he was not, certainly no fucking great warrior from what I've heard. He wasn't like the fucking uh uh like great, powerful, like super amazing warrior, but like I don't know. All I can say is like fucking uh if you are
So,
gonna be mad about Black Samurai in Sasakredo, you should also probably be mad that every single French person in Unity speaks with a British accent. You should be mad at that.
Unity was ahead of its time in terms of graphics, but it was
No, it wasn't.
also
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, it
well, no,
wasn't.
not ahead of no, okay, maybe not ahead of its time, but it was much better in terms of graphics, but it kind of dropped the ball on like stability. It had a lot of bugs,
Star Wars Battlefront came out
and
the
then they
year after.
they also had a multiplayer mode in that, which didn't work very well.
I know, we played it together. Star Wars Battlefront came out the year after Assassin's Creed Unity.
And it kind of
And
sucks because you look at Assassin's Creed Syndicate, which came out after. Wait, no, Syndicate came out after Unity, right? Yeah, Syndicate.
2017. Yep.
Uh, but Syndicate came out after and looks worse visually than Unity does. Um,
I
but
don't
like it
think so.
runs better. I'm talking about like the graphics, you
I
know.
know. I don't think it is worse than Unity. I don't think Unity looks that good.
I think
Unity
Unity
looks like Black Flag. Unity looks like the next gen version of Black Flag.
Black Flag was really good.
Black Flag is amazing. Black Flag is the peak of the
I think
series.
that was most of just like it was just very vibrant environments, you know?
The funniest part is Ubisoft made a pirate game about 10 years after they made a pirate game. They had the blueprint, right? The best part about Assassin's Creed Black Flag is the fact that fucking Edward Kenway is like, dude, this assassin bullshit is retarded. I'm going to be a pirate. And they had the blueprint. Just do what that game did, and it would be perfect. And they completely fucked it up for Skull and Bones. Completely fucked it. Like, there is no possible way you could have fucked Skull and Bones up worse. Jesus fucking Christ. Like, it's staggering how you've got the blueprint right there. It's in your company, and you can do it, and you fuck it up. It's incredible. It's in.
I've heard a lot of bad things about Skull and Bones.
It's awful. It's so bad. Just play Sea of Thieves, which is another game you really liked.
Sea of Thieves, I do have to admit, like while it is frustrating at times, it's a very fun game. It's fun to just kind of like sit there and like chill with like a buddy for just hours at a time,
Yeah.
doing absolutely nothing it feels like sometimes.
Oh, 110%. The fucking
But just the environment and kind of just like how the game is built. It's so good for just kind of dicking around.
yeah. Like I will say, the naval combat in Sea of Thieves is fucking awesome. Greatest naval combat in any game ever, I will say.
Right? And while I feel like in the past, like while I'm like deep into the game trying to like do things, I'll say, I prefer if there was like single player servers. I do think that the fact that there's not kind of makes it a lot more opportunities for funny moments.
But the melee combat, the personal scale combat is the worst I've ever played, ever, bar none. I have not hated a combat system
It's a little
ever.
clunky.
It's so bad. It's so bad. And it's not even just because it focuses on like flintlock guns and shit. Because the sword play sucks too. It's ridiculous. How can you have the best fucking sailing combat and then your melee combat sucks that much? It's impossible. It is genuinely impossible to fuck up that bad, but they figured it out. So kudos to them. Kudos to Rareware for that. But yeah, I don't know. We should do a big red button though. Now that we've each found our favorite games, let's do a big red button. Do you have a big red button for me?
Never.
You never do. It's incredible. It's incredible how.
It's like I'm not really even like a permanent host on the show like half the time.
I mean, you know what? There you go. That'll do it. Okay, I have an idea. For one. I'll give you the pro, you give me the con. How about that? Are you ready? Are you ready to go?
Wait, no, I'm not ready to go.
No, I'm ready to go. I have the pro. Are you ready to go? I'll tell you the pro, and then you tell me the con. Okay. So the pro is you get to replay your favorite game for the first time.
You get to replay your game for the first time again. Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of something that would be interesting. I could just go with the classic, but you can never play it again. You know what I mean? But like, if it's a single player game, then I feel like you could probably get away with that.
I don't know. I replay my favorite games sometimes. You know, I've played literally all three of my favorite games on stream before. You know, and I'd do it again too. It's not something I don't do. You know what I mean? But yeah, would you press that button?
Probably not, considering my favorite game is a multiplayer game.
Or Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush. Would you?
Absolutely not. I would probably go back to that game in like a year or two. I'd probably go back to that game this year.
That's fair. I mean, you know, you still have got like almost 6 months left in the year.
I need to go back and play the DLC at one point, because after I stopped playing the game, I got so rusty that like whenever I came back for like a tiny little bit, it was just so hard to remember how to do anything. Yeah. That's like the one thing about rhythm-based games is that they don't stick with you. They really don't.
I'll say the worst part about Arkham City is if I'm considering that my favorite game, the worst part about that is there is no way to go back. Like with New Vegas, you know, you can keep your old saves, right? You can save before you do something important, right? Or like save as soon as you leave like Good Springs and shit like that, or whatever the fuck. But with Arkham City, you can't replay shit unless you start over from the beginning. And that sucks. That sucks. Like, I get why, but also fuck you, Rocksteady.
I think that all games should have like an option to like go back and get stuff, right? I feel like games really shouldn't have a point of no return ever.
Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. All the Arkham games have that. Like, as soon as you finish the main story, you're like, okay, I have to wrap up everything tonight before Batman goes to sleep. You know, before he goes back home and gets in his jammies and goes to sleep. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like it is like impossible to replay like a boss fight or go into like a Predator section. Like sometimes they'll have them in like VR or in like one of the challenges, but like if they don't, you're kind of fucked and you just have to replay the entire game.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? I feel like every game, you know, like, and this goes for like every single game, right?
Yeah.
Like once you, I guess, beat like the main the campaign of
Yeah.
the game, or once you like kind of like get to like whatever like the main goal is, right?
Mm-hmm.
There should be definitely like an option like for like how they have like mission selects in games, right?
Yes.
Where you could
That's
like
yeah.
replay like certain moments, right? Either for if you need to go back and like get like an item from that area, or if you want to redo a choice and see what the outcomes are. Maybe there's like different dialogue options. Maybe it's just a really cool boss, right? I feel
Yeah.
like having to restart like games just to kind of like experience like a slightly different thing, or to just experience the same thing again, it's a little annoying sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just because like the Arkham games are just really not set up like that. But it's just
It's I
yeah.
think it's even worse whenever you uh are playing games that have like an automatic save feature, and you only
Yes.
have like one save slot, so you literally don't have the option to like save state at all.
Yeah.
It's like once you get past that point, you know, even if you wanted to, there's really no going back at that point, right?
Oh, that's how Arkham is. That's how
I
Arkham is.
I feel like
Yeah.
with save states, you can kind of get the best of both worlds a little bit, but in games without save states, it's just like, screw you, I guess, right?
With Arkham all the Arkham games, you get 4 save slots, right? But if you want to replay something after you finished it, you have to restart the game and beat your way up to that point. So like if you want to replay the if it's not in a challenge, say like I don't know if this is true, but there's like a Joker boss fight in Arkham City, and that's one of my favorite fights in the series. Um, and if you want to go back to that point, and it's not in a uh, if it's not in the challenge mode, right? You have to go through the entire game up to like that is the last boss-ish fight, right? There's like 4 or 5 more combat encounters and then the final boss, and that's it. And you have to beat the entire game up to that point, which if you don't know what you're doing will take you like a long ass time. So I prefer just fucking uh uh like mission select screen, but then again it wouldn't work for the way that game is set up. But they could have retooled it just a little bit to make it work like that.
There's definitely some sort of creative option that you can do in
Yeah.
order to kind of like reincorporate like major bosses or major events and kind of bring them back, right?
I refuse to believe that there just isn't a way to do it. That's what I'll say is I don't believe there's like any game where you just say, well, we can't. I think it is always possible to do that.
I feel like it'd be real cool, real fun, right? If games let you do that, right? Because then you could just like reload into like a really old boss with like your maxed out gear, and just for fun, just see how it feels.
Yeah. Sorry. Four save games, and then new game and new game plus. So base game, new game plus, 4 saves. So technically, there's like 8 playthroughs. You know, but once you're done with those, you're done. You'd have to reset all your progress, and that's just kind of annoying. So yeah, I don't really care for that.
You know what else more games should have, right?
What?
Useless like completion items, just to say, hey, you did it. You
Like
know,
what? What do you think? What do you mean by
like
that?
how like in some games, right? They'll give you like a very funny like outfit, or
Yeah.
they'll just give you like a very funny like weapon,
Yes.
and it's like you never really get to use it because you've already 100% of the game at that point, right?
Yes.
But like it's just there to be like, yeah, you did it, good for you, right?
Yeah,
Like
I can
in
see
a
that.
Red Faction Armageddon, I can't remember how you get it, but you remember that giant like unicorn gun or whatever?
No, I only remember the gold hammer.
There's a unicorn gun in Red Faction Armageddon for doing some stupid thing. And just like funny little stupid items like that, right? Where it's like a super serious game, and then you just have a unicorn that like shoots rainbows.
Yeah, that's
Like kind of
fair.
like I feel like Doom kind of did it perfectly, right? Because Doom is like super gory and bloody, right? And if you just like play like the main path of the game, that's kind of like the story you'll get, right?
Yeah.
But if you do the side content, Doom has like so many like funny things, right? Like where you'll find like a Doom 64 room where you'll find like just random like stuffed animals everywhere.
Yeah, the
Like
collectibles, yeah.
yeah, Doom does a really good job of kind of like being serious, but also kind of having that kind of funny side to it,
Wolfenstein, the new ones did that too.
right? I feel like I really enjoy whenever games kind of like don't take themselves too seriously whenever it comes to collectibles or side content.
That's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I I don't know. I feel like I've said all I need to say about that. Um, I feel like I've said all I need to say in this episode because it's almost midnight on a Tuesday, and I have to wake up early and put this fucking episode out. So, uh, yeah. We want to thank our patron Justin Connor. Thank you very much for supporting the show.
Woo,
Almost a
woo,
year.
Justin
Woo
Connor,
woo.
let's go.
Yeah, or almost 2 years. Sorry. Don't
But to
let
say,
me
don't
put the respect
disrespect
on
our
your name.
patron.
Yeah, put the respect on your name. But yeah, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Keeps the lights on. Keeps us doing cool stuff. Um. What else? What else? What else?
I wish I kept my lights on Thursday.
That's fair. I mean, dude, if you want to keep your lights on fucking Thursday, you're not, you don't pay your power company. You pay fucking Greg Abbott. You know, you pay that son of a bitch. And while he's getting dicked down by the power companies, he'll tell them. You know, he's like, while he's getting like back shots, you know, he'll be like, hey, you know, can you guys keep Danny's lights on? You know, he paid me the big bucks, and they would be like, yeah, sure. You know, that's how you get it.
It wasn't terrible, but like it was like 24 hours. I was just chilling here in the dark.
Yeah, and it fucks over the food you have in your fridge. I don't like that. I hate having to throw away food. That really makes
Well,
me sad.
my big fridge was fine. My small fridge, wasn't able to keep the cool temperature for that long. Granted, this is only a drink fridge though, so we're good.
Yeah.
But still,
I'm talking about like in general, like if the people, like other people, you know.
well, other people probably had it a little bit worse off than me. Thankfully, my fridge was able to withstand 24 hours.
Yeah.
We just didn't open it. Nobody went near it.
Yeah. 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 So I hate having to throw away food, so I hate when the power goes out for a long time. Um
I was gonna make a joke, but I won't.
Fuck you.
You know what I was gonna say too.
I already said I'm fat. You can't do anything to me. I already said that I'm fat. I've taken the power away from you. You have nothing now.
So you hate to throw away food, so you eat it.
You have no power. What power do you have over me when I admit that I'm fat? What can you do? What can you say?
It's just so funny.
I mean, I guess. I still
And like
get the last laugh.
the viewers may not remember this, but you have like a hunchback too. You know what I mean? So we can laugh at that as well.
It's this fucking chair, I swear to God. I've had to use this chair since fucking October, and my mom hasn't been to my house since last July. I made her sit in this chair that she bought me for like fucking like $20. This chair is worth like $20 fucking dollars, and it's so bad. There's a reason why I have the fucking posture check thing, because it fucks my lumbar support. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. You
I
can't
just
lean
don't
back in it.
understand how
There's
one
no
can.
there's no pillow, or there's no like lumbar support for me to like lean back and like actually like straighten out my back in the way that you're supposed to. It's like when I lean back, there's like a pillow at my shoulders but nothing in my back, so it like hunches me forward. It does it for me. It's just a really shittily designed chair. I'll send you a fucking picture afterwards, but it's really bad. But anywho,
I
wait,
don't know,
you interrupted
man.
me while I was talking about Patreon. If you want our cool movie commentaries, which we've been doing a lot of, the Robots one, all the original trilogy of Star Wars. We did The Rock with Big Cat Scott Henson. We did the original Indiana Jones trilogy and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull because we hate ourselves. Hell yeah.
And if you want, we can even do the Family Guy Star Wars trilogy. Just request it, and we got you.
I feel like that one would be harder just because of like the streaming services that it's on, because like a lot of them have ads. So if
Well,
we did it, I would say just make sure we
make
find one that doesn't have ads, and
make
then we'll
sure you
watch
get
it.
Hulu without ads, guys. If you pay for Hulu with ads, then
You're
stop
you're
being poor.
yeah, then you're shit out of. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, we got a lot of movie commentaries on there. Some of them are free, like the what was it? The Die Hard one. That one's free.
Die Hard was pretty cool.
You fucking fell
I don't
asleep.
remember it,
He
but
fell
like,
asleep through it. He fell asleep through Die Hard. So if you guys want to
guys,
watch that, that one's free.
yes, and there's a Family Guy episode. I'm pretty sure that kind of sums up the whole Die Hard movie, so I can just watch that.
I hate you. So patreon.com/IIHS podcast. There's a link in the description. Check it out. We are also on social media. We are at IIHS podcast, all one word, on Instagram, Threads, and YouTube. So go over there. That's the best way to, keep up with us on like updates, topic suggestions, Q&A, that sort of thing. That sort of thing is all on our social media. So those Instagram and Threads are going to be your place to go for that sort of thing. We don't have a YouTube community yet because we don't have the subs. So go subscribe to us over on YouTube if you prefer watching the podcast on YouTube instead of doing them on whatever podcast listening service you choose to use. So if watching or if YouTube is more convenient, or you want to watch the lines go up on the podcast, like the waveform, we're on YouTube as well. So I don't think a lot of people know that, but we are. So go check us out. It goes up usually around the same day, unless there's like technical difficulties, or like it's too big for RSS to export it and I have to do it myself. So, but usually it's on the same day. Tomorrow it will be on the same day. So check us out on YouTube as well. We're at IIHS Podcast there, and on Instagram and on Threads. We don't use Twitter still because Elon is still a bitch. Fuck you, Elon. Actually, sorry. Do you wanna say fuck you, Elon?
Elon hasn't done me wrong, so I think
He did big racism. He made Twitter racist.
He did big racism.
He did big racism.
The big racism.
One of the larger racisms that one can do, I would say.
Well, that's freedom of speech for you. Like, what can I say?
And also, everything is like pussy in bio now on Twitter. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's really bad. I don't know. And he's working with Putin to destroy the Ukrainians, so I don't care for him. That's bad. Can I get a fuck Elon for that? Come on.
I just don't know if I can get behind like this fuck Elon thing,
He sucks. Don't worry. Just do your own research. Look into him. He sucks. But that's about all the time we have time for. I gotta fucking edit this and go to bed because I have to be awake at like 7 tomorrow to fucking post this. And I want to die. Good. Fucking. I've been incredibly influential.
And I've been highly successful.
Good night. Goodbye. We're all gonna die. Life is suffering. Suffering is life. Good night.